Hello friends! Historically, the opinion has been formed that non-profits in cryonics are much safer than businesses. Not because of defrosting precedents, there were none for businesses. There is a fear that business owners at some point might just take the money, abandon all the patients and run away. And all patients will die. Therefore, non-profits are considered a much safer, predictable alternative. Non-profits cannot be closed by the wish of one person. Nobody can just withdraw all the money. And because the board of directors is elected by clients, everybody benefits from keeping the non-profit intact. Additionally, being a non-profit is a very good argument in the eyes of potential clients. And it was a great argument in the early days of cryonics. In the beginning of cryonics, there was a huge lack of trust. Cryonics organizations were asking for tens and even hundreds of thousands of dollars for services. And no one knew these organizations because they had just started doing cryonics. This was aggravated by multiple scandals involving the defrosting of clients and accusations of scams. Not a surprise, back in those days it was absolutely normal to hear this kind of questions from clients. You're asking me to pay upfront tens of thousands of dollars. How are you going to ensure me that you don't run away with my money, huh? How would you answer this question? Here is the answer that was invented at that time. Money? We don't need your money. We cannot steal your money at all because we are a non-profit organization. All your money will stay within the organization. We don't work for money. We just want to save our lives, the same as you.
Should people be worried that cryonics is a money-making scheme?
Well, people should not be worried that the Cryonics Institute is engaged in money-making schemes or scams or anything of the sort. CI is a non-profit membership corporation. Our financial statements are an open book. Anyone who's interested can learn whatever they want about CI, but this is not within 1,000 miles of a money-making effort. It's an effort to try to preserve our lives.
And looks like it worked. People started coming and paying money. And that's why non-profit organizations are so popular in cryonics, to make it easier to gain trust and to make it harder to rob the organization and withdraw money from it. But can you run a business in cryonics and make it safe and trustworthy the same as non-profit? And the answer is yes. Turns out there is an easy way of gaining trust and safety in cryonics for businesses. Not everybody knows or pays attention, but Tomorrow Biostasis is actually a business organization. It was founded to earn money. Tomorrow Bio's founders did a little trick not to have any problems with trust or safety. They dedicated a separate, safe space to keep long-term storage money. Let me explain. Most of their clients cover expenses with insurance. It means when someone dies, the insurance company pays money to Tomorrow Biostasis. Part of this money goes to pay for cooling, cryoprotection and transportation. Part of the money stays in Tomorrow Biostasis so they can spend this money whatever they want. But there is a big part of the money dedicated to paying for long-term storage, for paying for liquid nitrogen. It is enough to refill liquid nitrogen in a jar for decades at least. This money cannot be lost. And this is one of the biggest fears of all cryonics members, that in the future this money will be stolen and their bodies will be towed. What did Tomorrow Biostasis founders do? They created a separate, isolated, non-profit organization to keep all the savings for long-term storage, with a board of directors motivated to protect these savings. When a client dies, Tomorrow Bio receives insurance money and simply sends part of this money to this separate organization to take care of this client.
Historically speaking, and also in general, limited liability companies are not technically built for long-term security. So all these storage, all the patients that are in storage are stored with a non-profit foundation in Switzerland. And this foundation does only one thing. It makes sure that patients who are in cryopreservation stay in cryopreservation. It has this one singular goal of ensuring the maintenance of cryopreservation. And to ensure that, it manages the money that is being used for long-term storage. So when the company Tomorrow Biostasis does a cryopreservation for, let's say, 200,000 euros, around 120,000 euros are being transferred to this non-profit foundation to then pay for the maintenance of storage out of the interest from this money.
And now it doesn't matter if something happens with Tomorrow Bio. Even if the founders decide to close the business and take all the money, it is completely okay. They will not receive money dedicated to long-term storage, or at least it will be very hard to do so.
So if Tomorrow should in the future at some point go out of business, nothing happens to the cryo storage. All the cryo storage stays in storage, nothing happens. All the money is with a non-profit foundation, nothing happens. So of course, as I said, Tomorrow is very much optimized on maximum stability as well. But should 30 years down the line, there's, I don't know, whatever happens, or 50 years down the line, nothing happens to the patients in storage. They're all safe and sound.
And what will happen to the clients who are not patients? They will simply change their insurance beneficiary to another cryonics provider. Because the crucial part of money is protected, nobody cares what happens with the rest of the money. I mean, seriously, I have never seen people complaining about Tomorrow Bio being a business or calculating its money. Like, nobody cares. Recently, Tomorrow Bio changed its structure, so for new clients it doesn't work anymore, as I described before, but it is a separate topic. So if you want to open a business in cryonics, no problem. Just create a separate, isolated and safe place for all the long-term storage money and you're good to go.
It's very important that storage is always done with non-profit, like fully independent organizations. And in fact, every trustworthy organization does it like that.